Alright, now that we've killed those shadow beings just outside and gained the portal, Izza will then steal you and take you inside her little shop here. She owns a minigame in which people can ride canoes downriver, and she introduces herself and explains that there's been some avalanches that have blocked off the river at several points. She asks you if you'd be willing to help out and offers to give you an additional bomb bag. This is really valuable, so say yes. She'll get excited and give you the bomb bag, then briefly explain how to make bomb arrows. We actually got a letter from Barnes earlier that explained how to make bomb arrows as well, but you simply combine your bombs with your arrows by pressing Z while in your item subscreen and your selection is hovering over the bombs. Shoot the boulders up ahead twice to make them blow up. Now, if Izza really had all that stuff, why couldn't she have done it herself? I don't know, maybe she doesn't have a bow, but why does she have arrows and not a bow? It doesn't make any sense. She'll thank you and go on to explain that there are more boulders downriver. Because you're such a nice guy, she forces you into a canoe, we don't really have a choice at this point, to go downriver. After a moment, she explains that she has a part-time worker who is down the river who will give you more details once you get there. She also goes on to say that once you're done, you can keep the bomb bag as a reward for helping her out. Now, I kind of feel bad for Izza. I mean, not only was the water drained from this river rapid ride for a time because, Zora's domain was frozen over, but she has not one, but two avalanches that totally ruined her business as well, so she has like 3 things against her. Now, one thing I don't understand about this is that the water, if it was really blocked off by boulders like that, wouldn't it like dam up? And if so, wouldn't it totally overflow or something, or at least drain all the water in this river and start flowing crazy fast just like it did in Zora's domain when we swam downriver earlier? I don't know, it bugs me, like, it's all just flowing normally like it does later on in the game. Anyway, this is the first time we're just following the current and rushing through here, so you can just hold forward on the analog stick and move quickly through this area. Don't worry if you hit the walls or anything, it doesn't matter. Once you make it about halfway through the area, you'll come to a Zora girl who is working for Izza. She'll ask you if Izza hired you temporarily to blast up the boulders up ahead, so she asks you to go ahead and do that, and she points it out. So go ahead and do that once she's done talking to you. Once again, it'll take 2 bomb arrows to do that, and then the water will be able to flow freely, and we'll be able to continue working our way downriver. Now, I really like how the characters in these Zelda titles, they have these sounds that they say, like this girl right now, she says, Yahoo! It's just, it's a cool little feature. I don't know, they don't say anything, they only have text or whatever, but it's pretty cool how they do stuff like that. Anyways, you can now follow this Zora girl who will escort you back down to Lake Hylia, and she occasionally drops rupees. Either she's not very good at keeping them in her pockets, or she's just trying to be nice. I actually have a hard time gathering them myself. It's hard to stay in a straight line because you have to, the water will flow and, force you to go a certain direction. Now this time through it's pretty easy, we're just rushing through here, but later on we actually have to play a minigame here that is unanimously agreed among fans to be one of the harder minigames found in the Zelda series, only because it's awkward. You aren't allowed to touch the walls or anything with the canoe, otherwise you will lose points, and I myself have a real hard time not hitting at least one thing on my way downriver, because the canoe is kind of hard to control, and you have to watch the flow of the river to compensate for it. My suggestion is say you're wanting to go to the right. What you do is you aim with your analog stick, you make yourself turn to the right, and then hold straight forward on the analog stick so you actually go diagonally in an angle, and then turn back so you're facing back downriver. This way you can actually go to the right, etc. Really easily actually. That way, it's just kind of hard to remember to do it that way, but that way works the best in my opinion. Also, keep in mind you can hold back on the analog stick in order to slow yourself down so you can avoid hitting objects. So we will tackle that minigame later in this chapter when we return to the Zora domain area. Right now we are just going to be back in Lake Hylia for now. Now once you appear back in the lake, you'll see this nice scene in which we fall back in the water. The Zora girl will then congratulate you and thank you for letting them open up business again. She goes on to say that Izza has given you the bomb bag for successfully clearing the boulders, and you can keep it. She makes it sound like it's trash or something, though. She makes it sound like it's something that Izza had lying around and is totally worthless. But it's a cool item, and we can definitely use it. We now have 2 bomb bags, and we can carry 2 different types of bombs, 1 in each bomb bag. So this is really good. We'll be able to... we're going to need a different type of bomb from Barnes, which we will be getting later, and we'll need it in order to enter the next temple. So this is really cool that now we have an additional bomb bag that we can use to fill that up with. Now, as long as you're in the Lake Hylia area, there's actually a cave in the upper ledges to the south that you can enter. You can pretty much need your lantern the entire time because it's really dark in there. You can tackle this cavern now if you like and get a piece of heart at the end, but there's several pole souls that are found there, and you will not be able to gather them at this time. So if you go through that cave and you intend on getting the pole souls later, you have to go through this very lengthy cave twice. Also, because by the time we enter the next temple, we will have just completed a heart container, so getting that 1 piece of heart inside that cavern will not really make us any closer to getting the next heart container because it's just 1 out of 5. There's no way to get another heart container other than the one we're about to get. So, that all being said, I will be tackling that cave later in the walkthrough when we will be able to get both the pole souls and the heart piece at the same time, so that we are not going through that cave 2 times, because it's really lengthy and really annoying. So that being said, with that out of the way, with the exception of that cave, that is all we can do here in Lake Hylia at this time. So go ahead and head all the way back to firing his cannon, and pay him some rubies and get shot up to the top of Falby's building. Once again, it takes a while, so I'm just going to skip through all this, and I already showed this earlier and everything. So once you get up to the top, you want to simply go through the door and emerge into Hyrule Field. At this point, you can actually work your way all the way back up to Upper Zora's River and do Iz's Rapid Ride again, and in order to upgrade your bomb bags. However, there's some stuff we need to do in Zora's Domain area a little later, so I will be doing all that stuff at once and using Iz's Rapid Ride to get back to Lake Hylia later on in this chapter. So once in the Hyrule Field area, you want to run forward and play the horse grass in order to summon Epona. And we're going to go grab our next hidden skill. In the previous chapter, while we were up in Upper Zora's River as a wolf, we found a howling stone and used it to howl to the golden wolf, who is now just outside of Castletown. So if you did not see that howling stone, I'm sorry, but at this point you'll have to wait until after the next chapter to grab that hidden skill, unfortunately. So don't worry though, it's not really necessary at this point in the game, so if you didn't get it, you're totally fine. Later on, I will be mentioning them and how to get all the ones you missed. But you can also check out our Howling Stone guide on our website, which has the instructions on how to find them all. Anyway, you want to head over to the portion of Hyrule Field just outside of Castletown, and there's a little ledge on the north side of the entrance leading into Castletown. So hop off Epona, climb the vines, and up here you will find the Golden Wolf. Once again, this is the location of the Golden Wolf for the Howling Stone in Upper Zora's River. Link will get out his sword, and the wolf will jump at him. Rawr! We will then appear in the Misty World once again, along with the Hero's Shade, who will transform from his wolf form into his undead zombie form. He'll then ask you if you're ready to learn the next skill, and he will then make you first show him the previous hidden skill, the shield attack, which we learned a few chapters back. Once again, if you have not gotten this hidden skill yet, then you'll have to wait a few chapters before you'll be able to gather this hidden skill, and you can also follow the Howling Stones guide on our website. Once you regain control of our hero, you want to Z-target him, get forward, and punch using your nunchuck to smack him with your shield, then follow up with a sword slash, which will knock him to the ground. Once you've done it successfully, he will teach you the next hidden skill, the backslice. So he explains that some enemies keep their front sides well protected, so sword and shield attacks won't be very effective against such enemies. Thus, a good way to attack them is to catch them off guard by circling around them and attacking them from behind where they're most likely vulnerable. Z-target your opponent, jump to the left or the right twice using the A button, then if you're standing close enough, Link will be able to roll behind them, so quickly slash using the Wii mode to perform a backslice. This technique is really useful and it acts very similar to a spin attack, but it's very useful especially against harder foes like the Lizalfos and Darknuts, which we will face much later. But it's also great against bigger enemies such as tons of Boblins and Tektites, which we'll be facing in greater numbers relatively soon. And it's also really useful in the Cape 4 deals. This is the 3rd out of 7 hidden skills found in the game, and it's one of the easier ones in my opinion to use. That's all the hidden skills we can find at this point in the game, so with that we will appear back in East Hyrule Field, assuming you're playing the Wii version of the game. It'll be West Hyrule Field if you're playing the GameCube version. So hop on down and get back on Epona. Now, there are 2 golden bugs found in this portion of Hyrule Field, as with most areas in this game, so they are both available to us right now, but I will only be getting one of them at this point. Ride south, and once you get to this patch of flowers, you want to get off Epona, and you'll find the first of the 2 golden bugs found in this area, the male butterfly. The female butterfly is nearby, but it is a little awkward to get at this point in the game, so I will be getting it later in the walkthrough when we have an item that we get from the next dungeon that will make it easier to get up to that platform. So it is possible to get right now using the Gale Boomerang, but like I say, it's really awkward and you might be sitting there for a while, so I'm just going to skip it for now. So next we want to head to North Hyrule Field, and that is about all the time I have for this video, so I will see you guys for the next one. Laters!